Questa barca di 8 metri e 84 centimetri si chiama...
This 8.4-metre boat is called the NX290 Grand Style and is produced in Brazil by NX Boats, a shipyard that builds 440 boats a year from 8 to 15 metres.
Da 8 a 15 metri.
The shipyard was founded in 2014 and is today one of the 3 most important Brazilian manufacturers of pleasure boats. From the very beginning, they have thought of a global market with models intended for the whole world. Perhaps we Italians prefer slightly more streamlined lines, but these shapes have a very specific purpose: to make us feel comfortable even below deck. And it is precisely from the interior that I want to start showing it to you. 7 light spots illuminate the cabin, which is 180 centimeters high in the center. According to the classic American style, in the hallway we find a kitchen cabinet complete with a microwave and refrigerator. In the bow sections there is the dinette, which transforms into a double berth by lowering the table. The bed is 160 centimeters long and 185 centimeters wide. The entrance to the aft berth has a low height, but is more comfortable than many other competing boats in the same category. The bunk is 250 centimeters long and 120 centimeters deep. The bathroom has a shower. On deck, the width of the hull was exploited to the fullest by creating a passage to the bow through the windshield. The sun deck is sloped, and there are also brackets to make you even more comfortable. The helm station is for 2 people and is moved to starboard, while the wet bar has found space on the left side.
Noi europei che non siamo abituati a trovare I fingers.
For us Europeans who are not used to finding fingers at the mooring, we have to recover the rope from the top side. Perhaps we could consider installing a hook in this area where we can temporarily place the rope. There is room for 6 to 7 people to sit on the 2 sofas in the cockpit. The padding is very soft and comfortable. This is the area that I like the most, with the kitchen moved here to the stern, the grill, which is outside the hardtop, and lots of space around it. So if I'm here preparing the food, I won't obstruct the passage of people that go up and down the boat or dive into the water for a swim. Basically, there is room for everyone. Look at the size of the swimming platform. There is also a submersible platform. Customization involves choosing the color of the hardtop and upholstery, and the installation of all sorts of accessories, as if it were a large yacht.
Proviamo NX 290 con un motore a benzina.
We're testing the NX290 with a 350 horsepower Volvo Penta stern-drive gasoline engine, but other engines are also possible, for example, a diesel or outboard unit.
Il mare qui sulla costa ligure davanti a Mare.
The sea here on the Ligurian coast in front of the Marina degli Aragai is apparently calm. In reality, there is no wind and the surface is extensive, but underneath we have a long sea wave, not very high, 30 to 40 centimeters.
La barca è equipaggiata con I flap.
The boat is equipped with flaps, but I'm not actually using them yet. Yet it goes into planing, and although I'm sitting, therefore in the lowest position, I can see very well in front of the bow.
Vedere benissimo davanti alla prua. Questo parabrezza ripara molto bene perché va da una falchetta.
The windshield protects very well because it goes from one gunwale to the other and then continues along the sides up to the hardtop pillars. So I have protection from the wind, even lateral, which benefits not only me and my pleasure of being at the helm without too much wind, but also the guests, even the passengers, who can thus count on a good degree of comfort.
Stare su un buon grado di comfort. Siamo a 12 nodi, appena sopra la planata, non è questa la...
We're at 12 knots, just above planing. This is not the ideal pace. This is only useful if you decide you want to navigate gently or if there is a rough sea. But for the engine, for consumption and performance, you need to give it a little more gas.
Dare un po' più di gas. Giri minuto, velocità 18 nodi e mezzo.
4,000 RPM, a speed of 18.5 knots. In this case, at this speed, I lower the flaps a little because I need them to keep the boat more flat with less pitch on these waves that we're facing at the bow.
Su queste onde che sto affrontando in prua. Avete notato come sono pieni i volumi nelle sezioni?
Have you noticed how full the volumes of the bow sections of the hull are? The aim is twofold: to have an abundant volume in the cabin and then also to have thrust, a buoyancy reserve that helps us, especially when the sea is very rough and not like today, but in much worse conditions, perhaps even with following sea. When a volume, and therefore a notable thrust at the bow, allows us to always remain above the waves.
Sempre sopra le onde.
Despite these bow shapes, which are anything but slender, it actually navigates well. It passes well on the waves. I don't feel the impact.
Questo perché anche i pattini, soprattutto quelli più vicini alla linea di chiglia,
This is because even the spray rails, especially those close to the keel line, are not very wide. They don't slap the water. They only serve to ward off splashes, and you can see very well how effective they are. The outermost edge, the one needed to keep the boat in a longitudinal position, correct at all speeds, is wider, but that too does not impact. Maybe if we veer. Let's see.
Virata? Vediamo.
It doesn't impact even when veering, and the heel angle is considerable, which makes me feel how narrow the hull is and how it has an effective V even in the central stations of the hull. Very good.
Qui abbiamo onde anche di 40-50 centimetri.
Here we have waves of up to 40 to 50 centimetres. And let me tell you, it's not easy to find a boat of this type with a large cabin in the bow that passes over the waves in such a soft, pleasant way.
Piacevole.
We're at 25 knots, the engine is at 4,600 RPM.
Sentite il rumore?
Do you hear the noise? I'm going full throttle. I have flaps now, but I'm taking them off.
I flap li tolgo. Do anche un po' di trim. Voglio esagerare.
Also give it a little trim. I want to exaggerate. But wow, she exaggerates too. 34 knots is the maximum speed. Incredible, with a 350 horsepower engine. She is sporty.
150 cavalli. Sportiva.
The thing is, it's also quick. It's brilliant.
È brillante. Non mi sarei mai aspettato che una barca di questa tipologia, pensata per la famiglia.
I would never have expected that a boat of this type, designed for the family and for livability below deck, would have such a sporty performance. And the 34 knots reached today are certainly not the maximum performance, because we have a full tank of water, a full tank of fuel, and 2 crew members. The crew is sitting there in front of the bow. If I were at the stern, the trim would have been even better and the speed would have been higher. so it's a boat for the family, but also one for having fun with full throttle.
Con il gas spalancato.